We're going to be doing a regular stream today. Ooh, look what we got here. We've got Pepper. Say hello to the little duties. Yo. How cold is it outside? Is it too cold? Hopefully it's not too cold. Let's see. Oh man, it's so windy out. Dude, I keep coming out here when it's like really windy. And it is kind of cold. Maybe I'll put a sweater on and some jeans. Yeah, let me do that. I did not do the homework necessary to realize that it is in fact cold out. Or it's somewhat cold out. It's not that cold. It's a little cold. I'm gonna get some jeans and sweater on. I think that'll work. That'll work just fine. Just give me a quick second. Get some sweater and jeans on. I did not anticipate that. Here I am doing this stream, and it's like, oh man. All right, hold on one second. Hang tight. Hang tight. Let me just quickly change up. Put all my stuff down. Okay, get some jeans on. I'm down here, by the way. Just give me a sec. Just got to get some. If I'm going to sit outside, I got to dress the part. It's kind of cold out. I was not anticipating that. Just going to put a sweater on and we'll sit outside and just vibe out, I guess. There we go. Better. That'll be better for the outside. Sorry. Terrible angle. But bear with me. I'm putting some pants on. I'm putting some pants on. All right. Here we go. Hang tight. Hang tight. I'll be there in just a second. I didn't anticipate that it was cold out. I did not. I thought it was warm. I step outside only to find out, oh crap, it's actually kind of cold out. I mean, it's not like frigid, but it is, you know, cold enough to where it's like, maybe I shouldn't have sweater on or any of that. Anyway, woo, 36 people just joined. What the heck? Some sort of shorts are weird. Live shorts are weird. They do this thing where it's like you'll get a sudden surge and then people swipe away. It's so odd. I don't know. Very strange. All right. Well, for those who are sticking around, this is Ask a Woke Liberal Anything. Ask me any question. I'll answer the question. Chat's right there. I can see it. So, and we're going to be having a drink and smoking a cigar outside and just kind of vibing. Ah, man. All right. Cheers to that. Let's see here. Got the Angostura bitters. Angostura bitters. And then the next thing we got Woodford Reserve. Can't go wrong. I used to think you'd get in trouble if you said anything alcohol, but turns out, nope, you don't get in trouble as long as you mark it as it's not for kids. You know, obviously you don't want to be drinking in front of kids. You know, not a good idea, not a good look. But y'all are adults. Y'all are 18 plus. So we should be good there. Let me grab my simple syrup. Carefully pour, then close this up because I have spilled simple syrup and it is not a good time. Every time if you ever spill simple syrup, You are guaranteed ants. Guaranteed. I gotta like buy traps and all that crap. You are guaranteed ants if you spill simple syrup. For those who don't know what simple syrup is, it's equal parts sugar and water. Ah, that's tasty. Cool. Well, no one has chatted yet, but I'm right here. I'll hear out your, we got somebody say, Khadija Barim says, okay. And then they said, hi, hello, welcome. Ask a woke liberal anything. You can ask me any question and I will answer your questions. If you have a question for me, we're going to be sitting outside smoking a cigar and I'll take on your questions, whatever they are. I will do my best. I will answer them in as candid way as I possibly can. All right, let me get my cigar cutter. And where's the ashtrays over there? Okay. All right, almost there. Just give me a second while I prep everything. I've got this here. Okay. Just hang tight. I just got to open this. We got to open this. That's what we're doing. Let's see. Where is the... Let's see. Hey, lovely folks. Hope everyone is doing well. Hello, Cow Crapper. Hello. Always good to see a familiar face. Always good. All right. Unless, of course, that familiar face is Alpha Eagle. Whew. Man, I am good on that guy. Whew. That guy's crazy. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. Got my thing here. Got my cutter. Well, the cutter's good. I got my drink. We are ready to sit outside and have a good smoke. Let's do it. Living the old hobbit life. It's not too cold out. It's only a tiny, eensy bit. Cow Crapper says, don't blame me on Alpha Eagle. Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty bad. Yeah, that guy is nuts. That guy is kind of a crazy person. All right. All right. Y'all want a story? I didn't get a chance to talk about it on the stream, but yeah, so I was sitting out. Oh, let me grab my iPad. I gotta get my iPad. Where's my tablet? I know I had it. Where'd my tablet go? Is it upstairs? It must be upstairs. Let me go get it. Hang tight. I was ready and prepared, and now I'm not prepared at all. I'm not even remotely prepared for this. I really should set this up prior. Where's my tablet? Can't see. Tablet? Is it in my closet? Ah, there you are. On my hamper. Okay. Okay, let's go back outside. All right, we're going to do a story time. Hang tight. Story time coming right up. I'll tell you the story. And you tell me whether or not that I was in the wrong or not. Okay. Okay. All right, story time. So, one thing that I like to do when I'm out and about is I like to enjoy a good ride on my electric scooter. Now I know that sounds really dorky and nerdy, it's because it is, but I like it, okay? I like my electric scooter. That's really enjoyable to me. So I was riding around, and it was time for like breakfast. It was in the morning. I was like, I'm gonna go to like a nearby, like a cafe, and just get myself a breakfast. So I hop on my electric scooter and I'm riding, and I'm on like a bike trail. So I'm on a bike trail, right? And I'm on my electric scooter, and perpendicular to the bike trail, there's this road that's perpendicular to the bike trail. And on the road is closed off, like the road itself, but the bike trail goes like right through the middle of the road, right? So there's nothing blocking me from going through the bike trail. It's just specifically road users, like people in cars can't get in here. And then lo and behold, I discovered that there's like this cool car show. And I was like, cool, sweet. It's got a bunch of classic muscle cars and they're up and down the road. So rather than going to get breakfast, I take a little bit of a detour, and and I'm looking at the cars on my electric scooter. I slow down to about, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 miles an hour, roughly. Probably about jogging speed, a brisk jog, if you will. And so a couple of things. Number one, I'm wearing like this bike helmet, or it's like for motorcycles, because my scooter will go pretty fast. So I have a full face helmet. And I've also got some headphones, so and they're noise canceling, so I can't really hear somebody, if they're trying to talk to me. It's because it gets loud, when you're riding. So I wear noise canceling so that way I can, just kind of enjoy the ride. Anyway, there's a lady that, I'm going up the road to check, these cool cars. And there's a lady that kind of like waves and, holds her hand up. And she starts talking to me, and I'm like, and I told her, I said, I can't hear you. I got something in my ear. And I just kind of casually go past her. And then I'm checking out the muscle cars. And I go up the road. Eventually I get to the end. And then I turn around and then I'm checking out the other muscle cars as I'm going back. This time, the lady is approaching me. And she's got her arms out like a T cross, like indicating me to stop. And I'm like, God damn it. I got to take off my helmet. I got to remove my earbuds. And I'm like, fine. So I take off my helmet. I stop my scooter. I take off the helmet, take off my earbuds. And she says, this road's closed off. You can't have a motorized vehicle in this area. This is a closed off area. And I'm just like, lady, number one, I'm just like, you're telling me I can't be on my electric scooter? She said, no, you can't. You have to walk it. You have to walk your electric scooter. You can't have any vehicles. It's a liability. It's against the law. This area is blocked off. And I'm like, whatever, lady, just fucking leave me alone. You know? I'm just like, I'm going to go get breakfast. So I walk, it wasn't far. I walk to my breakfast place and I get my breakfast. And then, during this time, I am furiously Googling, like, what does the law actually say regarding closed roads? So it turns out that electric scooters, they operate under the same exact laws as bikes, where it's like, if a bike is allowed to be there, well, so is an electric scooter. The other thing is that there is no law that says like a bike can't be on a closed road. That's not the law. The law is okay for a bike to be on a closed road. Same thing with an electric scooter. And the other thing was like, there's no like clear postage or signage that says electric scooters or no bikes, no nothing, right? Because it's like right on a trail where a bunch of people on bikes go on. And it's not like I like swerved around a thing that said no bikes. I just took a right, and then there I was checking out cars. So I go back to this lady. I was like, lady, you got your laws wrong. I did not get the laws wrong. You're not allowed to have an electric. I was like, nope, this is what it is. And I told them exactly how it was. And she said, talk to these people. And she took me over to two cops, and then I calmly explained myself. And then they were like, well, yeah, he's right. And I was like, listen, lady, I don't have anything against you. I just want to let you know that you got the law wrong, and there's no reason for you to yell at me because I didn't do anything. Hey, bruh. I was like, lady, like, I have no idea why you're getting upset at me. That's just wild. It's so annoying. I'm just like, dude, just let me. All I'm doing is checking out the cars, and I'm going at a very, very low speed, looking at the cars, and I get yelled at. I'm like, whatever, dude. That's just wild. Other than that, gonna go golf soon, says Witch. You should come, Amender. I got an open spot. Baby Rantar says, smoke in front of minors shut. I don't know what that is. Some people must be busybodies sometimes. It's like a genetic thing. Is it? Excadriller says, what's up, Gay Mender? X-Guy, I got a beef with you. You got it wrong on depression. It's not as simple as just finding God and just eating well. That's not how that works. It's just not true. That's not how you take care of depression. And I'm sure you could Google this. You could look this up. This is freely available information. Anybody can look at it. I just liked approaching that lady and telling her, no, you got the law wrong. The law is not on your side here. I was well within my authority. I did nothing to break the law. First, I created another response. You're still wrong. I read it again and I was like, you just doubled down. You doubled down. You're wrong. You got to admit when you're wrong. If I get shown that I am wrong, I will instantly change it. I will change my thought on it. Why? Because I get proven wrong. Driller, that debate was off the chain stupid. He's saying that depression, it's like, oh, that's just, you could just fix that by coming close with God. Like, what, dude? Dude, You have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you heard that depression is just a made-up thing. It's not. It's not just of the mind, right? It's something that can be empirically shown to exist. AWOL says, I wouldn't instantly there first. Most of the time it's begrudgingly. No, we were talking about the Mr. Slave debate. Cowcrapper says, I had to emergency buy a new phone. Now I'm fucked until the mid next month. That's, and Cowcrapper saying, depression is real. I suffer from it mildly. Your cigar is canoeing and it is upsetting me. It is canoeing, isn't it? Do you want me to fix it? Let me fix it. I feel like this cigar, I barely started it, but it's already almost halfway done. Is it dry? Is the cigar dry? Let me wet the end. Wet this canoe side. It'll be okay. Witch says, mind over matter. I can cure depression in 1 second. No, not how that works. Nice try though. It is not how that works. I'm telling you right now. You don't know what you're talking about. I love how like it was cold and then the sun comes out and now it's like really, it's actually kind of hot. Let me take off this sweater. It's wild, wild, wild. No, I could cure depression in a second. I am him. Cigarettes are greater than cigars? No way, dude. No way. Where are you guys getting that you could just cure depression? Where are you getting that? Where did you get that information? I'm serious. Like, where are you getting that? Witch says I was depressed and I said, fuck you, brain. You're not in charge. That's not how that works. Doesn't work that way. Excadriller says we got that Andrew Tate mentality. That's not a good thing. Andrew Tate is a child sex trafficker. Sorry. Yeah, Andrew Tate is a sex trafficker. But seriously, where are you guys getting this? Is this an Andrew Wilson take where he says that depression isn't real? It's all in your brain? I'm rare, so I don't expect Amender to understand. No, Andrew Wilson does not say that. Then where the hell are you getting this? Seriously, I'm not joking. It's all about perspective. It's not. It's a literal chemical imbalance in the brain, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. You could just Google this. Like, I'm not, like, if you were able to do it with just like mind over matter, you did not have depression. I promise you that. Cowcrapper says Andrew Wilson probably would say that though. I want to know where you're getting it from. Where do you get that? There is no academic research that argues your favor here. You're just wrong. Andrew Wilson's take on depression with male woke feminists. You can watch it. So it is something from Andrew Wilson. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's just wrong. The facts do not bear in that depression is something that you could just control with mind over matter. It's not that simple. Sorry, I'm just trying to work on this canoeing. This is a really bad canoe. Let's see here. Weak people given to chemical imbalance and feed into it. No, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Holy shit, dude. Dude, we gotta go over, like, we gotta take a day in the stream and just like understand depression. All right. Let's look it up. All right. What causes depression? All right. Tell you what, though, this screen is super hard to read at certain angles because of my glasses. Come on, Google. You can do it. I believe in you. I am more than the chemical imbalance. Okay. Harvard Health. We'll pull up Harvard Health. Let's read. Onset of depression more complex than a brain chemical imbalance. Let's look here. It is often said that depression results from a chemical imbalance, but that figure of speech doesn't capture how complex the disease really is. Research suggests that depression does not spring from simply having too much or too little certain brain chemicals. Rather, there are many possible causes of depression, including faulty mood regulation by the brain, genetic vulnerability, stressful life events. It's believed that several of those forces interact to bring on depression. All right, I'll take care of the canoeing. This is really bad canoeing. This is probably the worst canoe I've ever seen. Hate burning a good tobacco leaf like that, but desperate times call for desperate measures. To be sure, chemicals are involved in the process, but it is not a simple one chemical being too low and another too high. Rather, many chemicals are involved in working both inside and outside nerve cells. There are millions, even billions of chemical reactions that make up the dynamic system that is responsible for your mood, perceptions, and how you experience life. With this level of complexity, you can see how two people might have similar symptoms of depression, but the problem on the inside, and therefore what treatments will work best, may entirely be different. All right, hold on, give me a sec. Let me get this umbrella up because I'm getting cooked in the heat here. Hold on. Ugh. All right, where was I? Okay, better. Okay. And again, like this is Harvard. You can see it right here. Harvard Medical School. Okay, it's telling you what it is. Brain regions and mood. Popular lore has it that emotions reside in the heart. Science, though, tracks the seat of your emotions to the brain. Certain areas of the brain help regulate mood. Researchers believe that more important than levels of specific brain chemicals, nerve cell connections, nerve cell growth, and the functioning of the nerve circuits have a major impact on depression. Increasingly sophisticated forms of brain imaging, such as positron emission tomography, PET, single photon emission computed tomography, SPECT, and functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, permit a much closer look on the working brain than was possible in the past. An fMRI scan, for example, can track changes that take place when a region of the brain responds during various tasks. A PET or SPECT scan can map the brain by measuring the distribution and density of neurotransmitter receptors in certain areas. Use of this technology has led to better understanding in which brain regions regulate mood and how other functions such as memory may be affected by depression. Areas that play a significant role in depression are the amygdala, the thalamus, and the hippocampus. Research shows that the hippocampus is smaller in some depressed people. For example, in one fMRI study published by the Journal of Neuroscience, investigators studied 24 women who had a history of depression. On average, the hippocampus was 9 to 13% smaller in depressed women compared to those who were not depressed. The more bouts of depression a woman had, the smaller the hippocampus. Stress, which plays a role in depression, may be a key factor here, since experts believe stress can suppress the production of new neurons or nerve cells in the hippocampus. Researchers are exploring possible links between sluggish production of new neurons and the hippocampus and low moods. An interesting fact about antidepressants supports this theory. These medications immediately boost the concentration of chemical messengers in the brain, neurotransmitters, yet people typically do not begin to feel better for several weeks or longer. Experts have long wondered why, if depression were primarily the result of low levels of neurotransmitters, people do not feel better as soon as the levels of neurotransmitters increase. Let's keep going. Hold on. I gotta be in the shade, dude. I'm getting cooked. Getting cooked in this heat. Hold on. My leg is like getting cooked in the heat. How about that? Okay. The answer may be that mood only improves as new nerves grow and form new connections, a process that takes weeks. In fact, animal studies have shown that antidepressants do spur the growth and enhancing branching of nerve cells in the hippocampus. So the theory holds a real value of these medications may be in generating new neurons, a process called neurogenesis, strengthening nerve cell connections and improving the exchange of information between nerve circuits. If that is the case, depression medications could be developed that specifically promote neurogenesis with the hope that patients would see quicker results in current treatments. Let's see here. So there is the amygdala. The amygdala is a part of a group of structures deep in the brain that is associated with emotions such as anger, pleasure, sorrow, fear, and sexual arousal. Recalling an emotionally charged memory, such as a frightening situation, activates the amygdala. Activity in the amygdala is higher when a person is sad or clinically depressed and thus continues even after recovery from depression. This increases in activity may actually cause the amygdala to enlarge. Basal ganglia, not pictured. The basal ganglia are a related group of structures deep in the brain. They are connected and interact with structures that are closer to the brain's surface. They may facilitate movement and may be involved in memorizing, thinking, and emotional processing. Some studies found shrinkage and other structural changes in the basal ganglia in people with depression. The hippocampus. The hippocampus plays a key role in processing long-term memory. Interplay between the hippocampus and the amygdala might account for the adage, once bitten, twice shy. It is this part of the brain that registers fear when you're confronted by barking, aggressive dog, and the memory such as an experience may make you wary of dogs you come later in life. The hippocampus is smaller in some depressed people, and research suggests an ongoing exposure to stress hormones impairs the growth of neurons in this part of the brain. Okay. So, given that there's multiple brain regions that affect depression, it's not as simple as a matter of will. It isn't. That's why drugs are necessary. It is a chemical problem requiring a chemical solution. That's what it is. Ask if the Wim Hof method can cure it, Amender. What is the Wim Hof method? I'll look it up. Let's look it up. Hold on. I'm making a mess. Jesus, holy crap. Hold on. Let me fix what the hell I just did. All right. Wim Hof method. I'll pull up the Wikipedia on the Wim Hof method. Wim Hof. He previously held a Guinness World Record for swimming under ice and prolonged full-body contact with ice, and he holds a record for barefoot half marathon on ice and snow. He attributes these feats to his Wim Hof method, a combination of frequent cold exposure breathing techniques and meditation. Hof's method has been subject of several scientific studies with mixed results. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Dude, why do you, like, Google this shit, dude? Dude, like, you just Google this stuff and these people are insane. Method-related deaths. Concerning cold exposure, the American Heart Association and the British Heart Foundation have issued warnings about cold therapy, advising consulting with a physician before attempting, and noting that there is poor evidence supporting the practice. As of March of 2024, there are 32 reports of people dying allegedly due to the Wim Hof method. According to one expert, immersion in cold water can produce a cardiac arrhythmia in 1 in 3% of young, healthy subjects, but up to 63% will suffer arrhythmia when asked to hold their breath before the plunge. It is an incredible way of reproducing cardiac arrhythmias in other fit and healthy individuals, he said. Some experts say that practicing the Wim Hof method is, quote-unquote, gambling with your life. 4 practitioners drowned in 2015-2016, and relatives suspected the breathing exercises were to blame. In 2021, a Singaporean man was drowned in a condominium pool when attempting the method. One person died after a cold water therapy session in UK in 2022. A $67 million lawsuit was filed against the Inner-Fire Wim Hof in 2022 that alleged 17-year-old Madeline Rose Metzger died when performing the Wim Hof method in her pool in Long Beach, California. Wim Hof was not found liable in 2024 because it could not be, quote-unquote, proven that the girl was doing exercises in the pool at the time and that it caused her to drown. Yeah, no to Wim Hof method. Depression is a neurobiological condition, and dipping yourself in ice is not going to fix that. The amygdala doesn't magically start producing neurons because you dipped yourself in ice, you stupid fuck. Use your brain. Use your brain. Stop listening to podcasters. This is podcast brain. I just read it to you. You have to acknowledge the facts. I just read it. I'm using credible sources. These are credible sources. I can pull up Harvard studies. I can pull up whatever studies. You can't sit there and bring up podcast shit as if you know what the fuck you're talking about. Jack Attack MMA says they clearly didn't do it right. Oh my God, dude. I mean, that is a true fuck around and find out moment. Take the time to actually read on this stuff instead of just believing what some idiot on a podcast says. Don't trust what I say. Pull up actual empirically reviewed studies on these things, right? Like if you think people haven't, studied quote unquote Wim Hof method, they have. That's not a cure for depression. It's not. It's just not. Wim Hof method is not that. Let's see. Well, since that they were using the Hof method before TikTok came out, that obviously it wasn't TikTok brain that spawned it. But I guarantee you, this is like on some podcast somewhere where people heard, "Oh, Wim Hof, it cured my depression. Oh, Wim Hof, it works." No, dude. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Emmer says, what's in the glass? It's old-fashioned. It's a whiskey with Angostura bitters and simple syrup. It's very tasty. So first, I'm curious your opinion. How important is TikTok to politics? It shouldn't be important, but it is. It shouldn't be important at all. Excadriller says, I feel like statistics just pick a random significant level when doing a hypothesis test. No. In order to change the conclusion. No, that is not what that is. No. You can look at things called p-values, and usually you have a p-value of 0.05 is going to be considered statistically significant. P-value of 0.05, that is the scientific standard for to reject null hypothesis. LOL, random question. Would do coaching on RuneScape? I want to obtain the Inferno Cape. I would pay $100. You could do it on your own. The Inferno Cape isn't that hard. You just got to spend like two hours on it. Maybe 3 hours. Give it 3 hours. Spend 3 hours. Get your prayer potions. You know, I think you need you just got to know how to cycle prayers when you're gonna fight to talk Jad. Jack Attack says mandatory Wim Hof method therapy for trans identifying people. Yay or nay? No, don't do Wim Hof method. Dangerous. Don't do it. Stop it. Don't listen to Wim Hof. Don't listen to a guy that dips himself into ice and tells everybody to dip themselves into ice and then they get arrhythmia. P-value of less than 0.05 in order to reject a null hypothesis. So standard for this is for A equals 0.0. It's a p-value. I don't know where you're getting A. It's just a p-value. Man, I gotta blow my nose. Wim Hof walked himself way up Mount Everest to his britches. Pretty impressive. Great, fabulous, amazing. That doesn't mean, therefore, cures depression. Someone said use Wim Hof method to cure depression. Where the fuck did you get that? Dude, use your brain. Look at actual empirical studies on this stuff. Stop. I don't know where you get this stuff. It's got to be podcasts. It's got to be. I'm here to correct it. I'm here to get y'all straight. Look at peer-reviewed studies for this stuff. Stop wasting your time with morons that just they got a book to sell. They got some miracle cure to sell. It's because people don't know anything about psychology, Amender. That's correct. Jackatex says, I was joking. It turns out, haha, joke's on them. I was only pretending to be stupid. Got him. Surprised you haven't heard of it. I have heard of that technique. I did not know the name of it though. But I remember taking one look at that and seeing this dude dip himself in ice and be like, it works, guys, it works. I'm like, I don't know about that. Looks painful. AWOL says, any updates on the Stink fight? Dude, he hasn't messaged me. Nothing. I haven't gotten anything. You're the bridge between the first amenders and the second amenders. Funny. Chai square distribution is gay, not gonna lie. What are you talking about? AWOL Thought says, yeah, Wim Hof is a bit of a meme. I thought they'd be familiar. Everyone's biggest problem today is that they're trying to constantly be happy. That's a recipe of disaster. So depression is beyond just being sad. It's not the same as like being sad. The way that I had a roommate that had depression. Tell you what, let me go back. So, as a kid, hell, today, I suffer with ADHD. Had ADHD my whole life. It's never going to go away. And I was on Ritalin for like a really long time. Very long time. Years. My whole childhood was basically me on Ritalin. And it kind of like turned me into a bit of a zombie. Like I'd be able to stare at something for like a really long period of time. I don't know why. That's just what I would do. Sometimes I would just like look at something and be like, what is that? How come that got there? It's different from everything else. Like just weird thoughts in your head. And my parents noticed, and my dad and my stepmom decided to get me off of Ritalin, and I would just deal with having ADHD. And they pulled me away from having like sodas and stuff. I couldn't have any sodas. And that helped. So my experience with drugs was that, hey, there's natural ways to take care of these things, and I was like, this is also something that you can cope with ADHD. There are coping mechanisms to being able to manage ADHD even as an adult. So my experience was with drugs was you could do it on your own. You don't need drugs. Well, I had a friend, and this is a really heavy subject. I had a friend who he had depression, and he was on some really strong stuff, and he was telling me how it was affecting him, the antidepressants. And I told him, I said, you don't need that crap. You could do it on your own. You don't need a drug, to live your life. This drug is changing how you think. It's just ridiculous. You can wean yourself off of this, just like I did with ADHD. He agreed with me. 2 weeks later, my friend was found bleeding on the sidewalk, having stabbed himself with a knife. He went to the hospital. Thankfully, he was fine. He didn't die. But he stabbed himself with a knife. And I realized I'm not a doctor. I can't possibly give somebody medical advice on what drugs to take versus what drugs not to take. And the idea, and after learning a bit about depression, it was much later where I really started to learn about depression. I was talking to my friend, another friend, who was a roommate of mine, and he had clinical depression. It was bad. He would be like in his bed for weeks, and you could tell when he had depression. You could tell when it was onset, when he was acting it up, because he would barely talk. He would talk extremely negatively towards you, when he was otherwise really happy, really nice guy. But he was just had moments where he couldn't hold a job because he couldn't even get out of bed. The guy just stayed in bed. And so when he didn't have depression, I asked him, what's it like? Because I don't have that. That doesn't happen to me. I wake up, I'm like, hell yeah, new morning, let's go. Let's get to, I'm happy, I'm good. Even with people yelling at me on the internet, I'm happy, I'm good. So I'm like, dude, what is it like? I don't get it. And he was like, it's like this. And he pressed on my shoulders, like really hard, to where I was like, oh, that's, and he's like, it's like this. It's this weight that you feel. You don't want to get up. You can't get up. Everything is bad. Everything is negative. You can't, you don't even want to talk to your friends. You don't want to be around family. You don't want to go to your work. You don't even care that you lose your job. You don't care. And he's like, that's what depression's like. And you get it for weeks on end. It's not like regular sadness. Sadness is one thing. You can work off sadness. You can nutritionally prevent sadness. We're talking about clinical depression. And it is not something that just goes away by just eating something or by, changing your lifestyle. I mean, there could be some factors. There's some factors to it, but you have to understand it is a neurobiological condition. It is something that is resolved with medication. So I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. When I hear you ex-cadrillers saying they just need to find God, dude, you're playing with someone's life. This shit ain't no joke. It's not a joke. Don't treat it like it's a joke. And it's not like regular sadness. Wasteland Games says, how do I treat gender dysphoria? That's typically treated with gender-affirming care. Talk to your medical professional. One of the neighborhood kids, they're waving at me. Nietzsche lost his mind after seeing a dude beating a horse. I don't think Nietzsche needed to see a dude beat a horse for him to lose his mind. I think he already lost his mind. That guy's crazy. But I just, seriously, like, it's not as simple as oh, you can fight it off. No, go see a doctor. You got depression, you need a doctor. You got to get somebody who actually understands the mechanisms for depression and how to treat it. And yes, that does often mean an antidepressant. I know it sounds like, well, the body is not supposed to be taking all these pills or whatnot, but dude, there's all sorts of stuff in the body that just is just in the body that just is bad. Wisdom teeth, for example. You have some vestigial organ that when it explodes, that you need immediate surgery. You're going to die if you don't. It's not as simple. Let's see. Ex-cadriller says, I mean, I know you don't believe in God, but I think finding God could work. No, stop. It's just, you're just talking about religious healing. It doesn't work. It kills a lot of people arguing that. If you have depression, you got to see a doctor. Did you see when Brian Shapiro destroyed Rob Noah and Andrew Wilson? Brian Shapiro is a beast. One of my favorite debaters right now. Thank you. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I've debated both Rob Noah and Andrew Wilson. I got harassment from Andrew Wilson's group, and I find out that on his Discord, he has like a hit list where his fans should like harass people who have, who have challenged him. And apparently I'm on there. I'm like, geez. He's on his quote unquote shit list. I feel like you don't need a shit list and harass people if you know you're right. I don't need to get a group of people to hate on a particular user because they disagreed with me. I know I'm right because the studies show that I'm right. The facts are in my favor. People saying, ugh, Andrew Wilson, please subscribe to me. Holy crap, I'm the biggest ugh Andrew Wilson ever. Subscribe, please. I appreciate that. Yeah, we need more energy like that because Andrew Wilson sucks, bro. He sucks. Fuck that guy. This is a great cigar, I gotta tell you. Great cigar. You'll also notice that, unlike Andrew Wilson, I happen to be smoking outside. Which cannot be said about Andrew Wilson, who smokes inside. Emmer says, have you ever tried a whiskey sour? Love whiskey sours. I prefer an old fashioned, but nothing wrong with a whiskey sour. You should try a Chilean one, or Peruvian, depending on who you ask, called a pisco sour. That's a good drink. When I went to Chile, I drank a pisco sour every night. I would get home to the hotel, sit down at the base area of the hotel, and be like, I wouldn't snap. I'm not that rude. Dame un pisco sour, por favor, ahora. Yo tengo plata. Ya, ahí. Aquí está mi carta. Ok, gracias por pisco sour. Exca says, I mean, it isn't like, hey, I believe in God. It is a continuous process of belief and working out and quitting drugs to stop depression. No, stop. I'm telling you, if you have depression, you need to talk to a doctor. An accredited person that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. Not a podcaster, not somebody doing some faith healing bullshit. A doctor. Never would I have thought lemonade and whiskey worked. It's true. Good point. It does work. This is absolutely delicious. I'm sad that my cigar ended. It smoked too fast because I think my humidor is a little dry, just a little bit on the dry side. I'll top it off with some distilled water. Which says, come on, Exca, you know you can't cure depression without money and insurance. Get real. You can get antidepressants without insurance. There are urgent cares. You pay out of pocket. It's not the worst. It's not that expensive. You can do it. I'm telling you, it's worth it, comparatively speaking, to the alternatives out there. I'll probably get another one of these. These are nice. Anyway, if you have any questions for me, I'm right here. Exca saying, I mean, first, it doesn't work for everyone, but it can work. Dude, I'm telling you, you're playing with your life. Do not trust that. That is not an accredited solution. That does not actually work. Rob, in my opinion, is actually a better debater than Andrew is. Yeah, at least Rob Noor tries to debate. At least he tries to open up ChatGPT to make his points for him. At least he makes an attempt to argue the position instead of holding no position whatsoever and just criticizing somebody for whatever position that they hold that isn't like a hard right-wing religious conservative worldview. Oh yeah, says the census app merchant, LOL. Do you understand the difference between ChatGPT and consensus.app? Do you not understand the difference between those two? Wasteland says, been trying to ask a question a few times. I'm so sorry. Ask the question again. I must have missed it. I'll answer the question. Destiny is greater than Daniel Hume. I mean, Destiny is like a millionaire for debating people. Like that guy is like uber successful. Do you think one day I could get to that level? You think it's possible? I think it's possible. I think I could do it. I can't talk as fast as these people though, and I constantly use ums and uhs and repeat myself, and I don't know. Maybe I got to work on how I talk to people. AWOL Thought says, first, why can't you do both? Talk to a doctor and also consult your religion. Why does everything have to be either or with you? Well, because I know one of them works and the other one doesn't. That's why. One of them works. I know one of them works. The other one shows no empirical evidence whatsoever of working. Let me, let's get another whiskey. Let's do it. All right, hang tight. It's nice out. It's not super windy. It's a little windy. It's not too bad. It has been windy, I've noticed lately. I don't know why. Why windy? Why? Let's see, Pokemon Fan 0123 says, you collab with more big names and panels. I believe you will get up there. It just takes time to get the algorithm. I agree. Completely agree. That's why I do my streams. That's why I always do this, stuff like this. I've been saying that I got to get on more leftist streaming, leftist panels, because I've been kind of exclusively on right panels arguing, and I think it's caused most of my audience to actually be right-wingers, despite me espousing purely left-wing talking points. Wasteland Game says, you call yourself a woke liberal. Are you class-conscious leftist or just an establishment Democrat? I'm a syndicalist. I'm not a syndicalist, and I believe that like a form of controlled capitalism is good, and that we should do that. With that being said, though, I think like we need better worker representation through unions, and I think that there needs to be government backing of unions in order to ensure unions exist. I believe that unions should be mandatory for any business above 50 employees. I believe that. I do. I would probably at best call myself like I'm a progressive Democrat, like a progressive. So it's definitely like more left from like establishment Democrat, but it's not like full on socialist, if that helps. If you'd like to do a debate, sometime I'd be willing to. I debate people on my channel all the time. I'd love to, dude. I would absolutely love. Honestly, at best, I think rather than arguing with the left, I would love to collab with the left. If you hit subscribe and check out my videos, you could see my YouTube channel or my Discord, and you can message me there, and then we can figure out a good collab location. And then figure something out. We'll do something that we both agree on. A collab like that would be great. But yeah, I would love to collab more with leftists. I don't want to argue with leftists because we can go all day long about like, why the workers own the means of production and whatever shit like that. But it's like we're at a point in American politics where it's like, I mean, we just have full-blown fascism, and we just got to fight it, We shouldn't be arguing with one another over, like, certain class consciousness. If it makes you feel better, I do believe that we should have a, what is it? We should have, I don't believe that there should be billionaires. I believe that they shouldn't exist. Like, I think if you have in assets more than $999,999,999, then we just got to take whatever that is, like past that. I don't believe billionaires should exist. There's way too much wealth at the top, and there's zero incentive to not continuously accumulate wealth. And it's like, honestly, that bar is so freaking high. Most people are never going to see that amount of money. Hell, if you have $10 million, you're already like super well off. I'm not against people being well off. I just think that there should be a limit. Which says, take is another word for steal. I mean, steal is the unjustified. You're basically taking something from in an unjustified way. So taxes is not a part of stealing, believe it or not. It is a justified taking of property. I don't believe it is justified to have more than $999,999 is just too much money. You don't need that much money. The only thing that buys is an individual's ability to have a giant yacht. And it just benefits like maybe like a family of 4 or 5 to be able to enjoy a yacht while everybody is like having a hard time feeding themselves. What do you think about Asmund Gold? I think he's terrible. I think he's awful. He placates to neo-Nazis, and he's openly transphobic bigot that hates trans people. He calls it a delusion. He, all the usual talking points. I don't think he actually knows what he's talking about. Jack Attack says, who's your favorite right-winger, First Amender? Ooh, that's a damn good question. Who's a right-winger that I like? I used to like Jordan Peterson, but he's kind of gone off the deep end, so I can't really say that I like the guy. Who's like a right-winger that I'm just like, I kind of like him. He's kind of interesting. Fuck. Does Milton Friedman count? I mean, he's a nice guy. That's a nice guy. He's a right-winger. I disagree with his ideas. I don't think his ideas work. But if I had to pick a right-winger that, all right, yeah, he's all right. Yeah, sure. Milton Friedman, sure. He's not a bad guy. I think his ideas are wrong, but he's not like a mean person. Which says, Charlie Kirk was mine until Israel. Never mind. Charlie Kirk? You liked Charlie Kirk? My God. That dude was racist as fuck. Jack Attack says you should debate Hayden Rodea on trans ideology. The problem is it's not an ideology. It's understanding that trans people exist and realizing that there is a lot more empirical analysis behind the existence of trans people than people would assume. So I don't think it's an ideology. It's an acknowledgement of reality. If an acknowledgement of reality is an ideology to you, woo, what's the other side look like? AWOL says, hell, you are more racist than Charlie Kirk is. I'd love to hear it. How am I racist? I've not espoused a single racist talking point. Out of all the videos that you can find, I don't think you're going to find a single one of me being racist. He's a spiritualist, actually. He hates people who believe in God, but not a racist. You're welcome, Amender. I defended you. He's very spiritual. He hates people who believe in God. You mean who don't believe in God, I think. Hayden has a lot of subs on both channels. His original channel was about helping people with SATs. Emmer says, podcast when? Yo, so I have a call-in show on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like this kind of content, then consider a sub, and you'll be able to see when I'm streaming. Fisher the Breezer says, "Oh, talking to AWOL Thoughts. My apologies. Let's see here. Excadriller first is a socio-porist. Yes, correct. I I'm sociologically against poor people in the sense that I want the eradication of poor people, where people can live their life as they see fit, and they don't have to be poor. I would like poor people to not exist. There you go. And the way that we get poor people to not exist is we help them not be poor. There you go. Let's see. Excadriller says, nah, that's funny. Not going to lie. That's a good joke first. Amender, do you bowl? No, I do not bowl. Anything with a ball, if there's a ball involved, I am horrible with it, whatever it is. I think the only thing that's like I'm remotely okay at, and by the way, by okay, I mean like I'm an average person that could play the game. That's it. Is probably like pool. But anything with a ball, I'm horrible at. In fact, ludicrously horrible at. If you saw me throw a football, you would laugh. You would be like, that was the worst throw I have ever seen. And I tried when I was a kid. I tried being good at sports. I was never good at sports from the get-go. I remember, dude, back in elementary school, there was this like PE thing, physical education thing, where we would have to go out and we would get assigned like one of 4 teams, like, oh, your star team, your circle team, your square team, your triangle team. And you had to like go out and do a bunch of mini games to try to win for your team. And whatever team like won would like whatever, got a prize or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck. I never won. Because I would be on teams and I would have to like win for my team. I couldn't win a single game, not a single game. I was worse than every kid like there. There would be the 100-yard dash. I would finish in last every time. There would be like the 4-square game where you got to like, you know, bounce a ball into 4 squares or whatever. There was always a kid that was better than me. Lose at all those. That was a juggling thing where it's like you had to juggle for a certain amount of time. I would lose at that too. I had to hit a ball with a bat. I'd lose at that. Anything with a ball, I just lost at. It didn't matter. And I just grew to accept. I was like, listen, I better be smart because holy crap, I am not good at this. Let's see here. Emmer says, you are that guy that gets in the 100 every time, aren't you? I mean, I tried. I lost every time. There was always a kid that was faster than me. I was like, I can't beat anybody. I'm bad at this. So you couldn't play sports, and that's why you were a bully in school. I mean, I just didn't play any sports, but I hung out with a bunch of kids that were troublemakers. We would listen to Dr. Dre in middle school. I wore like gold chains around my neck. I was like, look how cool I am. And yeah, I mean, there were like kids that were like, that I perceived as nerds that I was just mean to. It was only until that the bully friends moved away and it was just me that I was like, I'm not a bully. I don't want to do any of this shit. I want to watch anime and play video games. I want to be like these nerds. Fisher says, LMAO, I used to sag my pants in middle school. Dude, me too. Me too. Man, I've gone so far from that. First Amendment, far left party in the UK wants to teach elementary students to take drugs. Thoughts? I need to read up on that. Whatever you're saying,
it's going to sound more reasonable when I read it than whatever it is you're saying right now. I had puffy skate shoes. Me too. Yeah, I remember like trying to skate and be good at that. I wasn't good at that either. I tried though. I liked rollerblades. I thought rollerblades were really cool. I was like, rollerblades are back. They were never back. I think it was sometime in the 80s where they were like messing around with rollerblades. And then one dude, all it took was one dude. One dude was like, hey, that's gay. And it was like, rollerblades aren't cool anymore. Rollerblades are gay now. All right, hold on. I gotta blow my nose. Give me a sec. Sorry. I'm gonna put my mic down so you don't have to suffer this. Just give me a sec. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. All right. Ewald says, oh no, you are the worst kind of bully because when you didn't have any backup, you decided bullying wasn't worth it because you would have gotten your ass whooped. And I love those confessionals. It's not that I would have gotten my ass whooped. It's that it just wasn't in me. I was only doing it because other people were doing it. I was like, you know, I want to look cool in front of my friends. So that's what we would do. That was the thing. But I think it was about when I was about 18 years old, when I finally went to college, where I said, why am I doing all this stuff to try to like be cool, to be accepted? I was like, why not just be me? Just do what you enjoy. And I was like, well, you know what? I like techno music. I like electronic. I know most people don't like electronic, at least around. They like rock music, rap music, pop music. Not me. I wanted to listen to electronic. I like electronic. I thought it was cool. Which says, my mom never got me Heelys. I was bummed, actually. Dude, I had some like knockoff version of Heelys. My parents couldn't afford Heelys. They got me some knockoff Heelys. You had to like manually like pull out the wheels and stuff, and they were super hazardous. And you look like such a dork with them. You got those off-brand rollerblade shoes then. Yeah. Yeah. You look like a Owl City fan, First Amender. No, man, I'm a Daft Punk fan. I love Daft Punk, bro. Daft Punk was so cool. I'm so sad that they broke up, but man, they released an album that was so freaking good that I was like, I'm okay. Random Access Memories was such a good album. What an amazing album. I don't know if y'all remember Random Access Memories. Jack Attack says, I'm projecting. I like Owl City, LMAO. Yeah, they're good. They're all right. Emer says, they came back? What? No, they didn't. I'm pulling that up. What? Is Daft Punk back? No, they're not. Dude, if they're back, I'd be so happy. Hold on. Daft Punk. Are they back? No internet. Oh, where's my internet? What the hell? Hold on. Where's my Wi-Fi? Give me my Wi-Fi. Is my Wi-Fi not found here? There it is. Give me my Wi-Fi. They picked up after the dude blew up. Somehow I'm unable to join a network. Let me turn it off, turn it back on, try again. Why do I have nose problems, bruh? Just to let everybody know, I'm going to be releasing my first video next week. It's about Starfleet Academy. I'll take a look at it. Why can I not connect to my Wi-Fi? It's saying I can't connect to my Wi-Fi. Okay, let me just restart my iPad. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm just going to reboot my Wi-Fi, my iPad. Let's see here. Just saying I can't connect. Come on. All right, Apple logo. Just gotta wait. The horrible Star Trek show, what's wrong with Star Trek? Star Trek's cool. I don't know that much about Star Trek though, so don't give me any, don't tell me any trivia. I'm not gonna know. I think I watched like, I don't know, 20 episodes of like the first season. That's it. That's all I got. I tried to get into Star Trek, but the first season is really old. First Amendment, you got to look up Josh Peck. You look a lot like him. He's a celebrity from the Disney show I used to watch. LOL. Cool. Sick. Oh yes, I love Star Trek. We just haven't had Star Trek in 15 odd years. The new shit is garbage. There's some good shows out nowadays. You watch Severance, Amender? Nope. Did not watch Severance. All right, let's get Wi-Fi back on. Come on. Wi-Fi. All right, connect. Do the thing where you connect. Are you going to connect? Unable to join. Oh my. Come on, let me in. Here, I think I got to move. Go over here, maybe? Come on, connect. Dude, I can't connect. Why no connect? All right, well, we have no internet right now. Oh, it just went away. Where'd it go? Oh, it came right back. I think it just rebooted. Come on. Do it. I gotta change the channel on it. Oh my God. Bruh. I don't know why my Apple's not connecting. I'll check my router when I get upstairs. It's okay. Not the end of the world. Well, I would say it's a good day, don't you think? I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I certainly am. It sucks. You left for a bit. Mender was praising how smart and rational you are. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't start gaslighting the guy. 50 saying, I love Severance. Just because 50 said it, I might actually watch Severance. And by the way, 50, I really thank you very much for being a member of the channel. I suggest anybody who watches me on a constant basis consider being a member. What is it? I think it's like 99 cents a month. It's nothing. You wouldn't even notice it. It gets me one step closer to being able to do this full time. Anyway, well, other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy this stream, I guess. We're going to be doing more of it. Let's see here. Red Boomer 93 says, out of all the Crucible people, who is the least worst person you talked with? Who is all the Crucible people? I don't know everybody involved. I just know Andrew and Rachel. I don't know everybody else. They're both equally horrible. Is there any other Crucible people like that I'm not mentioning? Marte, Andrew, Rob Nor, Cool, Vic. Really? All those people are Crucible people? Oh my God. The rabbit hole goes deep. Man. Marte, Andrew, the people that I least hate? Probably Cool Vic. Yeah, Cool Vic is, like, out of all of them, Cool Vic is probably the most tolerable. Rob Norn just kind of uses ChatGPT to make his arguments. And when you really break it down, he's also like a bit of a hypocrite. Andrew's awful. Marte is like is insane. That guy's, he couldn't argue at all. He couldn't argue out of a paper bag. Giacotex is on a scale of 1 to 10. How annoying do you find Craig Fight the Flat Earth? A 1. I like Craig. I like Fight the Flat Earth. I like him. Anyway, this is going to call it for the stream, but I hope you guys like this. We're going to be doing more debates, more discussions, conversations. I think what I got to do is I got to find me some leftist streamers, and then we have discussions. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much. We're going to be doing more streaming, more stuff. I hope you enjoy it. Have yourself a great rest of your Sunday.